Since I was born. Probably kindergarten, but I stopped for a while, and then I picked it back up in high school, and here I am.
Oh, wow. So you've been doing acting at CMU the whole time you've been here, too?
Yeah. When I was looking for colleges, I went and auditioned at a whole bunch of different colleges, and I picked CMU.
Did you pick it for the theater?
That and also rugby, but...
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard that CMU has, like, a really awesome theater program.
Yeah, we have a
Especially
BFA program here. So.
Yeah, especially for a small school, I've heard it's really incredible. And it was, so.
So, tell me a little bit about the process of getting involved in the theater department. So, obviously, like you said, that's kind of why you chose it, but was it just something you just jumped right into, or?
Well, if you're a major here, you have to audition for every show, and I'm a major, but
Oh, wow. Okay.
if anyone wants to, they're welcome to audition for anything, and our next upcoming show is Fiddler on the Roof, and anyone, including community members, are able to audition for, and you can just come in, and you can hang out with us. We also have a Mesa Thespian Society, where we have game nights and movie nights, and you can join.
That's really cool.
So how many productions have you done here at CMU?
I have done around 4 productions. I've done 2 black box shows, so they're student-directed shows, and I've been in 2 main stage productions, so one was Pride and Prejudice, and last year I was in 1776, and I was Andrew McNair, which it was my first big part on the main stage, and it was a big deal for me. And yeah, right now I'm directing a show, so that's another thing that I'm working on.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
So could you kind of, like, break that down for us real quick? You said there's, like, different types of shows.
Oh, yeah. So we have student-directed shows here where you find 1 acts or 10-minute shows that students direct, and then they cast those shows. And then we have main stage productions where they happen on our big Robinson stage. And then we also have black box shows that are directed by the professors, and we have one this next year called The Wolves. It's a soccer play. So and they happen in our experimental theater.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite so far that you've done? Worked in or done anything with?
Well, I'm a little biased. I really like the show that I'm working on right now. I can't say the name of it because it has a cuss word in it, but...
Okay. Way to keep it PG.
I really did enjoy Pride and Prejudice, not to be biased. The first show I ever did here was also pretty fun. It was called First Kiss, and it was the first time I ever had to kiss somebody on stage, so I was really nervous, but I don't know, that one was real fun to do.
That sounds interesting and a little nerve-wracking, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
So when does the department kind of decide on, like, your shows? Because you said you already knew what you were going to do next year and stuff, so when did they decide they're going to do Pride and Prejudice?
So how do they make that decision?
So our staff all gets together and they think about what would be best for the season, and this year it was our 50th anniversary, so we wanted to do some classics and bringing everybody together, so that was like the vibe this year, was bringing people together. And they pick 2 main stage productions. One of them's a straight play, that was Pride and Prejudice, and then a musical, and that's going to be Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay.
And then they pick 2 smaller plays, which was, we had First Date, which was a small musical on the main stage, and then we have Wolves, which is a small straight play.
Oh, cool. So there's a lot of things, like, going on, like,
Yeah.
all year and stuff like that.
So basically you audition for the whole season. So you just go one day and you're there all day auditioning for the entire season.
Oh, wow.
So you know already, like, from the get-go what you're going to be in, what...
Yeah, at least for the semester.
Oh,
This one's
wow.
a little different. So next semester we actually have auditions this weekend.
Oh,
for
that's exciting.
next
So you guys
semester.
just, like, non-stop.
Yeah, you don't quit.
That is, yeah, dang. I did not. See, that's why I was so excited to get to talk to you. Like, there's so many things that the general public has no clue. Like, I had no idea. Like, you're literally just always going. Like,
So-
it's crazy.
You might have just said this, but, like, generally, how long did you guys practice for before you guys were on stage for Pride and Prejudice?
Well, we got our scripts the summer before we came back
Wow.
to school, but we did not start rehearsal until after First Date, so we only had a month. So we had all of October to rehearse, and that was pretty much it, rehearsing.
That doesn't seem like a long time.
No, it was not. Yeah.
Is that pretty stressful, or?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first real big part I've ever had here at CMU, and I didn't want to let anybody down. And I had 6 pages of single-spaced 12-point font dialogue, so that was really stressful, especially since it's a hard play because of the dialogue and everything that's happening. But yeah,
So how long did it take for you to memorize your lines?
I don't know. I had a little bit of a mental breakdown memorizing those. It took me about 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks of rehearsal, we did our blocking. So we blocked the first half the first week and then the second half the next week. And usually by the time you're done blocking, you're expected to come in the next time and have it all memorized, ready to go. And you're able to call a line if you need it, but generally you don't want to. So
it's very.
So I want to say maybe 2
touch
weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
That seems pretty impressive.
I was actually saying, I was like, I don't know if you could give
expecting,
me that much lines in 2 weeks.
And then add a dialect on top of that. That was impossible.
Oh.
Because we weren't always going to do a British accent. We changed it like the week before. So I had learned all my lines in a different style, and then I was like, oh no. Or, oh no.
So talking about rehearsals and stuff, so you said there's the first 2 weeks that are like blocks or whatever. After that, what does the rehearsals kind of look like?
Well,
does everyone just rehearse together all at once, or is it like different scenes, you know? Like, yeah, like, what's the
genuinely,
process?
like, we'll have different scenes and you'll be called for a certain time until we start getting closer, and then she wants everybody there. But usually we just do different scenes. You'd be called, and we start at 6 o'clock, but generally you want to be there at 5, and we go until 10 o'clock. You start rehearsal, you have to get your corset on because she wanted us to get used to those, and our shoes. So we'd just be rehearsing on stage in corsets and shoes, basically. And then I would wear sweatpants and a hoodie. It looked a little ridiculous, but yeah, that's what we did. And then as we got closer, they just became longer, and everybody was there, and we were there from 5 until 10, and then usually we'd have to stay till 10:30 or 11 to get notes. So.
Yeah, I work with Tristan, who's also in Pride and Prejudice.
I love Tristan.
Yeah, I work with him at the gym, and I remember him always being like, well, we're going on Starbucks Friends, we have auditions, so it's going to be like a really long night.
Oh, yeah,
and
that
I was
was
like, you
for
guys are already
1X.
doing auditions again? Like, don't you have a show right now? He's like, yeah, we never stop. Like
Yeah, that was for directing things. He's in my directing class. We're both directing, so he's such a nice guy.
So I've only have heard of like Hell Week and all that stuff. So the intensity, is it kind of like at the beginning super intense, trails off, and then gets super intense at the end, or is it more at the end all the time? Like, how's the like intensity feel?
Usually, I've never experienced a true Hell Week until we did Pride and Prejudice, only because we started on the weekend, so we started on Saturday, and then we also had Sunday, but we were basically there from 12 o'clock until 10 on stage, and what they're doing is they're setting the lights and everything. And actually, I have a funny story to tell later about this, but you're on stage and you don't get to move because they want to set everything, so literally you're standing on stage for maybe 10 minutes at a time, and then you'll get to do your next line, and then you stand for 10 more minutes. And then Hell Week starts, and then if things go wrong, like, you just don't want them to go wrong. And then on top of that, you have schoolwork, and then I also have work, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I've never thought about that. There's, like, different layers to the show, you know? Like, the people who do the lights and, like, the tech stuff, they have to rehearse, too.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
you guys
their
all
rehearsal.
have to learn how to, like,
I'm
do
not
it
going to
together.
lie,
That's
but
crazy.
when we were working on it, we started Tech Week, and I exited on a scene, but they got the cues wrong because they were misprinted, and I had a chandelier come down and hit me in the head when I was leaving. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw those huge chandeliers, but one of them just smacked me in the back of the head.
Oh my gosh.
That's why you want to spend time on Tech Week or Hell Week, so that doesn't happen.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, what about costumes? Do you guys have, like, really, like, how does that work?
Well, our director, Jill Van Brussel, was also the costume designer for the show.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that was really cool. But basically, at our theater department, everybody usually gets measured for their costumes, and they're made by hand. So,
Oh, wow.
way before we even started rehearsal, I was getting measurements to measure everything so they could start hand making my costume. And I remember I had to come in maybe like 3 or 4 times to at least try it on, because they would get things like a little bit, like 2 inches off, and it wasn't perfect, so we'd have to do it again. But, yeah.
So it's a new each new play or piece gets their own costumes. Like, you're not gonna like reuse something, right?
For the most part, this play, just because of the style that she
Yeah.
wanted it and the period it was in, we wanted everything to be kind of custom to the people, because it
Yeah,
was in the
that's so
Victorian era, which is like a certain style, so all the guys have these pigeon-breasted suits, and my costume kind of looked like a couch, not gonna lie, everybody. But it fit my character, so.
Yeah, it's probably fun to
Yeah.
wear something different.
Yeah, I mean, normally I wear the not prettiest costume. I'm just used to it, but that was probably one of the worst ones. I had 2 dressers who dressed me up before every show, and I had to wear 7 things that had to be laced behind my back. So it would take me about 30 minutes to put on my costume because I can't reach and tie things behind my back.
Did you have any like costume changes?
There was one. I come off stage after Jane's wedding. She just gets married, and I'm super excited. And it's the next night where somebody comes, and I have to be right back on stage, except I have to put on a robe. And I have to carry a candle, and the candles were actually, like, lit, so you can't run with it. So basically, they'd have 2 dressers, they'd put the robe on me backwards, and then another person would spin me around and tie it, and then we have to make sure you can't see my costume. And then I'd come out real slowly with the candle, say, Elizabeth!
So you had corsets and everything. Like, you said you guys had to get used to that. How long was that of you just finally getting used to having to wear that kind of stuff?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I threw a fit about it for a while. After about maybe 3 weeks, I was like, you know what, like, I have to wear it. I finally got over wearing it. I still today, even though it's been like about a week since it's happened, my back and like everything is hurting from sitting in such a position so much.
I'm sure it helped your posture.
It did, but it also hurt.